Okay, so I hope that the lighting's not like super off and I don't look like a freak, but I'm gonna do another story time today. I was debating, I had asked like a couple of weeks ago on my Snapchat, was story time, did you guys want to see? And some people were wanting me to continue like doing like the Cheese Smith story times, and then there was a handful of people that were talking about like requesting for me to talk about like hardships or like how I'm doing now, things like that. But I feel like in order for me to get to talking about this, I feel like I should probably air out to these other story times. So it could like all be like timelined, you know what I mean? And like it could like all make sense, if that makes sense. So here I am, and I'm gonna make another story time. I don't think I've ever done this story time anywhere, so it's a new one, and it's not that juicy. I'm gonna just be straight up and honest, but it's just chisme. So if you want to keep on watching, then keep on watching. So at first, it's because it happened like a long time ago, so I kind of don't remember like the timeline, but I want to say that this happened first. So so sorry, I'm gonna throw this other story time in front of that one just so it can make sense. So we were gonna rent, we had to rent like tables and chairs, and I forgot what else, like other things, like at like a piñata store, so it was like a little like mom and pop shop, like in a plaza, kind of close to where we lived. So anyway, so we go there, right? And for some reason he stays in the car. He didn't want to get off with me. He was in the car with Dahlia, and I got off, to go in there and like make the reservations and pay, and like give all the details and all that of how many chairs we needed, blah 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 blah. So as we're in there, it was like a weird place. It was like half like piñata, and the other half was like they were like selling like electronics, or I don't know what they were doing. It was like two stores like put together. It was weird. So anyway, so I'm over here, right? And then like I'm waiting for the guy to come and help me. But as he's like talking to me, the guy that works there, another guy comes inside the store, and then you could tell that this guy's frustrated. He's like, right away, he's like frustrated, and he's like raising his voice, and he's like, hey man, you guys sold me some, he was like cursing and everything. He was like, hey man, you guys sold me some effed up speakers or whatever he sold them, like a radio or something. And the customer was claiming that it was broken and it didn't work, and he wanted his money back. But he went in there like very aggressively, okay? And me, I'm just like in the middle, like, oh, because the guy's like the workers on the other side of the the table or the bench thing, whatever, talking to me. And then this guy just comes in, and like, you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm like in the middle, like hella awkward. I'm like, oh my god, like I honestly thought they were gonna get down, because like this guy was mad, the customer. And I was like, oh, and then the worker guy, he kind of moved this way, and he was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, like we didn't sell you anything that was bad, and blah blah blah. So right, they were going back and forth. Like the worker was trying to keep his cool, but he was also trying to put his foot down and being like no, I'm not gonna give you your money back, or like I don't know, like I don't know what his excuse was. Anyways, that didn't have anything to do with me, so I'm just like in the corner, like super awkward, and I am just like, what the fuck? Like I'm just there, like just like looking around, like waiting, for them to stop. Or I honestly thought that they were gonna get down, dude. It was crazy. So that took some time. And then oh wait, sorry. So anyways, so that took some time, right? And as they're over there, like, arguing and going back and forth, I'm texting my daughter's dad that he was in the car. And I was like, hey, this guy came in, and I think he's gonna get down, because I honestly thought that we're gonna fight or something crazy was gonna escalate. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little scared, because it was like I was like in the hood, so I was like, dude, what if they start shooting, or what if somebody pulls out a knife or something? Like, I don't want to get involved, So I texted him and I was like, hey, do you mind like coming into the store, and then I wait in the car, like we'll trade spots, because I know like if I left the store without ordering anything, like he was gonna get mad at me, if that makes sense. So I feel like now that I look back, a lot of stuff doesn't like a lot of small things like that doesn't make sense, but you don't know until you're in a toxic relationship, and every little thing that you do to make your partner happy is what you're gonna do, if that makes sense. Like, for example, I was scared, but I knew to make him happy, I wanted to order these tables and chairs. You get what I'm trying to say? I wasn't gonna walk out of there and then, because I knew it was gonna upset him, that we would have to come back some other time or make him wait, if that makes sense, So I was willing to stand there and sacrifice my time and me be scared or whatever was gonna happen, for me to wait in line, to order this, because I did not want him to get mad at me for basically wasting his time. So I know that sounds silly now that I look back at it. I'm like, but you don't know until you're in a situation like that, in a relationship, like how that you try to avoid things like that, and you try to make your partner happy. So you'll do anything, to make him happy. So anyways, so I'm texting him and I was like, hey, like let's trade spots, like please, like like, can I wait in the car? Like, cause he was like, why are you taking so long? And I was trying to explain it to him over text, and it was just like, it's like hard. Like, how can you're like I'm like in the middle of it, and I'm like, like how can I be texting all this? So anyways, so he's all like, just come back. So he's like yelling at me like over the text. I could tell that he's mad because he's like, he used some curse words. And I get back inside the car. Sure enough, I did not order the chairs or the tables. I don't know what happened between the customer and the employee after that, because like I walked out, and like I said, I didn't get to order any of that stuff. So I get in the car, and of course it starts an argument that why I was in there. He couldn't process it in his head why I was in there for so long and I couldn't order the tables and chairs. Like, what was I doing in there? Like, why didn't I order it, And I knew that I shouldn't, and in that moment I felt like, fuck, like, let me go back in there. Like, I knew I shouldn't have left, because I knew that this was gonna happen. He was gonna start telling me that I wasted his time, gas, now we're gonna have to go some other time. Like, we went there for nothing, like nothing got done. Like, what the fuck was I doing in the store? Like, you know what I mean? So it was just like an argument that shouldn't have been there. And I was trying to explain to him what I got stuck in the middle of. Like, these two guys are fucking like about to throw it down. Like, and I'm scared, I don't know, like, and like he didn't care. Like, he was just like he didn't care about that, what I was trying to explain to him, why, this other customer came, interrupted me, and like, started arguing with the worker, and like, I didn't want to be in the middle of it, blah, 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 blah. And I was trying to explain to him, that's why I want you to come inside, blah, blah, blah. So right, we're in the parking lot, we're in the car, and we start, like, dude, it was a bad argument, dude. Like, I feel like now that I look back at it, it's like something so stupid, but, like, he was, again, he didn't understand why I couldn't get the fucking chairs and, whatever. So automatically in his head, he thought that I was in there flirting with guys that were in there. So in his head, he thought that the story that I was telling him was BS, and that the reason why I didn't get the chairs and tables was because I was doing things with the guys that were in there, with the worker, with this other guy. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, why weren't you the one that got off and did it? Why are you sending me if that's what you thought? So he started getting all insecure, thinking that my story was BS, and again, that I was in there giving out my number and like doing whatever with some random ass dudes, right? So it turns into a whole nother argument, and I'm like, dude, no, that's not what happened. So in this relationship, that actually happened a lot. And I feel like that's the main reason why, one of the main reasons why our relationship came to an end, unfortunately, because I would get accused every other day of doing things that I did not do. Like, I would never do. And I would get yelled at and accused and, in a sense, like punished for doing things that I never did. You know, it's just a person's imagination. So anyways, so it was bad, you know, like it was a very, very bad fight in the car. So I was like, dude, and I kept on yelling at him. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, it got to a point where I started raising my voice and cussing him out back. And I was like, you know, well, then you get the F out and you go in the store. And if you don't believe me, those two guys are either fighting or they're still arguing with each other. So go in there and then watch, just wait, and then have you order the chairs. Like, what's the big deal? And like, he did not want to get off the car and do that. Like, he kept with his, you know, with him thinking that I was in there, like, doing things with these guys, whatever. So anyways, he was like, I'm not gonna help you anymore. He's all like, he's like, I don't want your family at my house, because it was gonna be at his house, at the house that we were living at the time. So the birthday party was gonna be there, and I had already passed out the invitations and stuff. And he was telling me, he's like, you know, like, F you, F your family, like, you better tell your family that it's canceled. Like, I don't want to see none of your family that Saturday, and, you know, like, I don't want to see you, and blah, 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 blah. And now he's like, just tell them that it's canceled, that the party's canceled, or you better find another place to host it, because I don't want none of your family there. And, you know, he was just saying, like, all these things. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, you know, we don't have to have this birthday party here at your house. Like, I felt like he was trying to have that over me, you know, and I wasn't gonna have it. I was like, nah, dude. I was like, that's fine. I was like, I'll start texting my mom and, you know, like, start telling everybody, like, hey, the party's canceled, you know. So anyways, I'm obviously heated, and I'm hurt, and I'm pissed off because he's yelling at me and telling me that he doesn't want me in the house anymore, and that, you know, the party's canceled. He doesn't want my family there, and if they show up at the Saturday, he's gonna kick them out, and, you know, just like really mean things like that, and for no reason. And he's pissed off, obviously, because he thinks that I was in there doing something else other than ordering the chairs and tables. So we take off, dude. Oh my god, I don't want to start crying. But plus, to top it off, dude, I was suffering really, really bad depression, and like postpartum depression, and like just depression in general. Like, I was really going through it. And it's like me, like something that I was going through personally. It wasn't had to do nothing with him. I don't want to blame my depression or anything on anyone, because it was within me. I mean, I guess he had like some part of it, but it wasn't he didn't cause my depression. Like, I've been suffering from that since I was little, and it just got worse after I had my daughter. And I mean, now it's better, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, when I was pregnant, and when, you know, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but during this time, it was really, really bad, dude. And so anyways, we get back, so he starts to drive off, and he was like, get the fuck out of the car. And I'm like, what? He's like, you heard me, get the fuck out of the car. We were at a red light, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I need to take my daughter, like, she's in the back seat. And then he's like, no, you just need to get out. And I was like, so while he's saying this, right, we're at the red light, and the red light turns green. And when the red light turns green, dude, like, I opened the door, like, wide open. But he like, punches it, dude. He floors it. He floors the gas, and he takes off, right? And I remember when I opened the door, right before, like, the light had turned green, I had opened the door, and I had taken off my seatbelt. And when he floored it and he took off, I was trying my hardest to keep the door open because I was gonna jump out of the car, dude. Like, I've never told anyone this. I never told my best friend or my mom or anybody this. But the reason why I didn't jump out of the car was because he was going so fast that, because I was holding the door open, I couldn't hold it open. Like the wind or the gravity or whatever it's called kept on pushing the door inwards towards me, and I was fighting it and I was trying to push the door out. But like I said, he was driving so fast, so I'm in the passenger seat. I hope I'm explaining it right, but he's driving fast, the door's open, but the wind or gravity is like pushing it back into the car, and I'm like itty bitty me trying to use all my force, dude, to push the door open so I could jump out of the car, but I couldn't jump out of the car because the door was closing, and I finally just closed the door. I let the wind or the gravity, whatever it's called, close the door, and like we didn't say one word to each other, dude. Like we went straight home, and that was it. And then no, I remember, no, sorry, let me back up. Sorry, I got into my thoughts. That didn't happen. He actually dropped me off at my aunt's house because my aunt lived down the street from that place. And I remember we didn't say one word to each other. I just went to the back seat and I literally grabbed the entire car seat, dude. The entire car seat was super heavy, and my daughter was in there, and I grabbed it, and I, with her in the car seat, dude, like, and she's, my daughter, she's like, she's solid. So I like struggled, dude. I don't know how I did it, but I was able to get that almost 2-year-old and the car seat out of his car, and then I just went straight inside my aunt's house. And after that, we didn't talk. The next day came, and he acted like nothing happened. We went back to our regular lives. Like we went back to we ignored what happened the day before, dude. Like it was like it never happened. And he picked us up. And then like a few days later, he went by himself to go get the chairs and tables and rent them. Like literally, dude, like if nothing happened. Like if that day never happened. Never apologized to me. I never apologized to him. Like nothing ever happened. Like we didn't mention it. We didn't talk about it. Like nothing. It was like if it was nothing, like if nothing existed. So, as you could tell, like we were, so that incident happened. So, sorry that I kind of like jumped when I was telling the beginning of the story time to this other little story time. So anyway, so now, right, some days passed. Now me and my mom and my daughter are at this store. We're at Joann's trying to buy fabric. So he had texted me and was like, we had talked about it like the next day. He's like, hey, like, I don't want to cancel the baby's birthday party. I was just mad, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I do want your family there, and that's it. Like, that's all. Like, he basically was telling me, like, he doesn't want to cancel the party. So I was like, okay, whatever. So, and obviously, like, me, I really wanted my daughter to have a birthday party. So I was just, and I don't know. I guess you could say I was stupid, but, I went through with it, and I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, so we're at the store, we're shopping, and like I said, I'm over here thinking like we're in good terms, like we're good now, like no arguments or nothing happened, like after that. Then nothing happens. The day of her party, literally the same day of her birthday party, dude. We woke up because we were gonna wake up early because we had to go pick up her desserts. So like her cookies, and did we order like cupcakes? I don't know. We ordered like desserts, and then so the dessert lady and the cake lady were two different people. So we had to go to the dessert lady's house and pick up the desserts, and then we were gonna go to the cake. Oh, sorry, excuse me. We're gonna go to the cakes lady's house and pick up the cake. So, and they lived kind of far from each other. So anyway, so we wake up early, and I wake up early, And, you know, I'm like, it's kind of excited, like, you know, like it's my daughter's birthday, and like, yay, we're gonna, you know, get all this, like, like it's like all exciting and stuff because it gets decorated and all that. So at this time, his parents lived, they were our neighbors. So he was at his mom's house eating, and it just so happened that he left his phone in our bedroom. And when I wake up and, you know, I'm getting the baby ready, I'm getting me ready, I see his phone light up. And like, I never opened it or anything, but I kind of looked, and then I seen right there that it was Instagram, and it was from some girl. And all I remember was her message said, "Apples are good, LOL." And I was like, apples? Like, what the fuck? And I was like, who is? So obviously I knew what's up, you know? So obviously a girl's Instagram. Like, he told me he didn't have an Instagram, so obviously he's lying to me, because he does have an Instagram. And obviously he's me está poniendo los cuernos, you know? Like, he's obviously talking to other girls. So I'm all pissed off, right? So I grab his phone and I head over to his mom's house. Bitch, I didn't care who was listening to me, who was hearing me, who was in the kitchen. He was eating his fucking bien a gusto, his sandwich or whatever the hell his mom was feeding him. And I was like, who's this? I was like, look, you can't lie to me. You have Instagram. Like, hello, you told me you didn't have an Instagram. Dude, I went off, and he was just like silent, like in his, like all with a pissed off face, like. And he grabbed his plate of food and he just threw it away in the trash. He's like, I lost my appetite. And I was like, okay, well, don't blame it on me that you got caught. Like, you're over here, you know, messaging these girls on Instagram. And then he's like, Jasmine, you know, my family's here. I don't want to talk about it. Like, can we go back to our house and like we'll talk about it there? And I was like, I was so heated. And like, so anyway, so we start walking back to the house and like we're arguing. He doesn't deny it. He's like, yeah, you know, I messed up. Like, I did create an Instagram behind your back, and I messaged this girl. So side note, this girl actually is a family friend. Like a family friend from like way back in the day. So I don't know if she knew that we were together. And also I read the messages, and he was the one that reached out to her. He was the one that was trying to flirt with her. And he was like, oh, like, you know, we should hang out, or he told her something along the lines like, hey, what's up, we should hang out, or something like that. And then that's when she wrote that message. Like, she wasn't responding to him, and then I think after a while she was like, okay, apples are good, like just something random, you know. So no, I wasn't mad at her or anything, like, you know, whatever. She was not at my daughter's birthday party, by the way. We're not close like that. We were closer like back when we were younger, if that makes sense. So anyways, so right, he tells me, he's like, yeah, you know that day that you were at the store with your mom and Dolly at the fabric store, you know, like we had gotten into a fight, and you know, I just got into my feelings, and I decided just to get an Instagram and get you back and just start talking to girls. And I was like thinking, and I was like, okay, well, I started blaming myself. I was like, well, you know, maybe like, you know, we have been, you know, I guess having a rough patch, and maybe, you know, like I was kind of being mean, and maybe he just wanted to go talk to somebody else, some other girl, whatever, you know. I started blaming myself. But I'm still mad. We have to drive to go to this house, to go to that house. So we're in the car together, dude. It's like a big old mess. Like, we're not talking to each other. And if we are talking to each other, we're like talking stuff to each other, and we're arguing. And then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. The day that I went to the fabric store with my mom, we did not get into a fight that day. And I was even like reading like the messages like between me and him while me and my mom were at the store, and it was all like lovey-dovey messages. So I told him, I was like, dude, that is BS. So then of course I get even more mad. I'm like, dude, that is BS. Like, we were not on bad terms that day. I'm telling you, like, that's how you know you're in a toxic relationship. Like, when one day you're like, you guys are really good, and the next day you're like really bad. So anyways, I was like, dude, this day was a good day for us. Like, what are you talking about? Like, look at the messages between me and you. I was like, And then he, you know, he was like, oh shit. He didn't have anything else to say. Like, what do you say to that? You know, like, we weren't having a bad day. We were on good terms. But he was over there creating a Instagram behind my back and talking to, you know, to this girl. Who knows what other girls he was talking to, dude. I really don't know. So anyways, you know, so we're kind of like, you know, like, it's a lot of tension in the car. We go do all these runarounds. We get back to the house. Dude, I had to, like, make myself have like a happy face because my family was gonna be there, like his family was gonna be there. I vlogged it. It's my daughter's birthday, but no one knew like what went on the day, like the weeks before, with me almost jumping out of the car. Nobody knew about what happened that morning that I had caught him in a lie, like, you know, him talking to another girl on Instagram and trying to hang out with her. But I had that afternoon, that whole afternoon, I had to put on like a, you know, like a smile on my face and, you know, just act like nothing happened. Like if I was happy, like, you know, cause, you know, it was just like a party. So I had to be the host and, you know, we were just like back on good terms. Like, it was like if nothing happened, dude. Like we were, okay, so after the party, like we were back on good terms. It was like if nothing ever happened and we were just like, okay, like just shrugged it off. And he told me that he deleted the Instagram. He even showed me. Who really knows, you know, if he did delete it or not. I really don't, I mean, now I don't really care, but you know. So we were back on good terms until, you know, the next incident. But that's a whole nother story time for a whole nother day. Dude, I have so many story times. But I'm not just story times about him. I'm gonna do other story times about like which I have, like other ex-boyfriends, you know. So I don't know why, like the guys that I date are like kind of similar in that sense, you know, like no shade, but like, you know. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna make probably my next story time will probably be with another ex. But if you guys like the story time, please like it, share my video, and check out my makeup videos on YouTube. I mean on Facebook, sorry, Facebook. Follow me on Snapchat, and thank you guys for watching. I hope that this was entertaining. And I hope you guys liked it, and I hope I made sense, because I know sometimes I could jump from like one situation to another situation. Anyways, thanks, bye.